First of all, ignore the background sounds. They're my two parrots here who are chatting away while I'm trying to record a video. So this is the Cemo M1 fully aluminium micro ATX, very compact, small form factor chassis. And it's next to the PC that I'm going to be transplanting it from, which is a MATX case, which is also a micro ATX. Just want to show you around this case and see the size comparison between the Cemo. So having a more of a look around it, you've got a power button with LED, two USB 3s on the top, you've got ventilation on the top, ventilation on the side, none on that side, there is some on the bottom, and some little rubber feet, and on the back here you have your motherboard I/O shield cutout, various holes here for USB ports, Wi-Fi adapters, or kind of Pico power supplies. And you've got three half-size PCI slots there, and a flex ATX power supply cutout on the bottom. I'm going to take the panel off and show you what's inside. Actually, before I do that, I'll show you the packaging. So it came in a cardboard box from China, from Aliexpress, and it arrived in the UK in just over a week, so it's not actually that bad. And the case was protected with kind of foam either side in the plastic bag, and there were some drive holding brackets, which I'll show you where they go inside the chassis. But I'm not going to be using those, I don't think, but I'll show you that in a moment. So it's just 4 screws to remove a side panel, and it's just a sheet of aluminium, so it just lifts off. Very thick, sturdy aluminium panel there, and here we have the internals. So we can see the motherboard standoffs, and on the front there we can see the cable coming out for the power switch and the power LED. There's no HDD LED or reset switch, so if that's important to you, then you're going to be stuck. The USB 3 extensions there to go to the motherboard header, and you can see the power supply. It looks like there's going to be quite a bit of room to work with here. It's quite a nice chassis, but what I'm really excited about is the fact that there's these cutouts here on the back there for 2.5-inch drives, which is the reason why I'm not going to be using the brackets that screw into, where is it, here I think, one here and one here or here. I think you're moving where you want to be exactly, so yeah. So here we are with the micro ATX motherboard installed in the case. Obviously the CPU is already there with my RAM and my 250 gig NVMe solid state drive, and there's quite a decent amount of clearance for the CPU cooler, so you could actually get quite a bit of a taller cooler in here than the Wraith. And the motherboard I/O shield was a nice fit. It was a tad on the loose side, but it fit in fine. I've seen other Aliexpress cases, very similar designs to this one, where the I/O shield wasn't very well cut out, really hard to get in. It actually went in easy, a little bit slightly too loose, but it was, it's no problem at all. Yeah, so let's get on to the next part, which I think will probably be the power supply, and see what happens. So this is a Seasonic SSP 250 SUB, 250 watt power supply. Should be plenty for the 3200G AP I've got in here, and possibly a low profile graphics card in the future. Has all the pins required, etc. So I'll place it in. Okay, we've encountered the first issue, and that is if I had the power supply oriented the way it's supposed to go, i.e. to line up with these screw holes, then well, two things. This gets a hell of a bend as it's upside down, pushing down to here, trying to bend up this way. Also, it doesn't reach the 24-pin ATX connector. So I've had to flip the power supply the wrong way up, which there's a clearance there, so it's not going to cause any issues with the board. But it's not exactly sitting perfect, and it's very There's a very slight lip here, so getting the kettle flex plug in there might be a little bit tricky. On the plus side, more of the fan is exposed. When it's the other way up, then like one side of the two of these holes are covered up. So we'll see how it goes. Luckily I had a longer screw to reach, because this plastic sort of shroud here is pushing the power supply away from the back edge. So we'll continue. It should work. It's not ideal, but we'll see. I'll carry on. Taken off the... Thank you, Dylan. Lovely noise. Taken off the other side panel. And you can see these drive bays here, which look great actually. Really looking forward to putting drive in there. And you can see more of that angle that's at. But mainly took it off so I can feed this cable around the back and get it right out of the way. So, right. Power supply flipped up the other way around. As I said before, managed to get the USB cable routed under here from up there. 24-pin ATX power cable through there. The starter through the back for the HDD, and we've got the EPS 8-pin routed this way, and the fan just tucked up there for now. Okay, so there is a bag of screws included with a couple of cable ties, little ones, and I'm just putting the 1TB HDD on the back here, this Toshiba unit. Now, I'm just not happy, even though that should be anodized aluminium, that touching the circuit board straight on. So I'm going to put some of these little washers behind the screws, just behind there, just to give it some separation. I think I feel more comfortable doing that than having it touching the anodized metal, so I'll do that next. Okay, don't want to count my chickens, but that first little O-ring washer, that just fell right into the exact place it needed to go and didn't move, and the screw went straight in, so perfect. Probably just jinxed it for the other 3 screws, so we'll see. Number 2 O-ring there just dropped right into place. I think for these top ones, if I flip the case upside down, they'll do the same thing, so that makes that super easy to fit. Oh, that's good. When things go right, it's great. Ignore the bird still, but yeah, so here we have the drive mounted with little gaskets, and we have the power cable and the data cable, which runs up here, over and round.